Hey, Downtimers, going to do a little recap here about a game we recently had just this past Saturday. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. We're going to find out if these guys had a lot of fun. We had another player who couldn't join us tonight for the recap. It's a weeknight, and he's also in high school with you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
So teenage boys, you know, they got a lot going on. The only reason why we could do this is because it's raining outside. So, overall, did you guys have fun in the adventure?
Yes, sir.
The campaign was pretty fun?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And be honest. Now, overall, you're not going to get grounded. Okay. Overall, is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Overall. Okay.
Thumbs up.
No, really, if you didn't like it, we're going to find out why.
No.
And a lot of this is open-ended too. If you guys want to say anything about, you know, you feel like such and such could have been better or whatever, this is the time to say all that, okay? To let me know.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Michael doesn't have an opportunity to speak, but of course we'll get a chance to talk to him later on about what he thinks about the game and all. And he's still a little bit new to the game that we play, and so yeah, I think he's just starting to kind of get into it. So I'm not sure if he'd be able to really chime in a whole lot at this point. Anyway, you guys know that Mom did the voice for the Pixie. That's the biggest thing, right?
That was probably the worst part.
That was the worst part.
She wasn't in there.
Huh?
She wasn't in there. It's just a video.
Well, it was just audio, but it was still pretty funny, right? I mean,
It was kind of funny.
well, it's Mom. It was her way of participating, right? I mean, she was a participant in you kind of like helping me a little bit with the Pixie. You know,
Yes, sir.
I could very well do it. You know, I can't do lady voices, right? So
Yes.
it's kind of fun for Mom to do the lady voices of the NPCs. Do you guys think that's kind of a cool idea?
Yes, sir.
I mean, she was actually, Mom was working in the house while we were out in the shed studio playing and giggling and having fun rolling dice and killing monsters. So I think Mom deserves a big thumbs up.
Yes,
But
sir.
anyway, I'm hoping we could get Mom a little more involved in the games, and sometimes she doesn't. I mean, it was about 4 hours, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 4.5.
Maybe, yeah, it might have been closer to 5, huh?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, how easy is that for us to find 4 or 5 hours together, and then pull in another player or two on, you know,
Very rare.
with yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
It's pretty rare, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, and for Mom to find 4 hours to game with us, that's impossible.
That's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. So, but if she can kind of participate and do like recordings for the NPC voices and all, that's kind of cool, I think. And especially for the ladies that I struggle with, I can't. And I like to do the voices, but you know, like you guys, in the first scene of this chapter, this was what, chapter 3 of the campaign?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it was kind of different. We had like a snowy. We went to Winterville, right?
Yes, sir.
And you guys met some NPCs. You met Father Brown,
Yes,
and you
sir.
met Officer Coy, remember? And you guys went to the cathedral and went down into the catacombs and talked a little bit about what the dilemma was, and kind of got introduced to the theme, and the mystery started there, right? You guys had a couple clues to go by, and basically they were missing pixie dust, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was interesting, right? I mean, I felt like it was. Did you guys think that was kind of weird?
That was kind of weird.
Yes, sir. I mean, how do you lose pixie dust?
Yeah. Well, how do you even have? Why do they?
Why
have
do
pixie
we even
dust?
have pixie dust
Yeah.
in a church?
Yeah. Did you guys like how it ended up and how I ended up explaining? Now, technically, we haven't even finished the chapter. I mean, we're like 99.9% done with the chapter. Okay, we've got to figure out the experience and the goal that you guys got, and so we had a couple of little things. We have a couple little loose ends we need to tie up, but you know, for the most part, we're done. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. But yeah, did you guys kind of like the introduction? Did you guys like how I was doing the voices for Father Brown and Officer Coy? Officer Coy was kind of good.
I like the display of
Yes, sir.
all the.
You like the display?
Yes, sir.
But which display? We had a couple.
Well,
We had 3 main things.
I just like all of it really. I like the art
Okay.
and how it was laid out,
Okay.
except the catacombs, because
Well, that was
not the catacombs, the caverns, because it was like a little bit small,
Yeah.
so it wasn't really as much fun.
Right. And that's kind of realistic though, right? That's pretty plausible, I guess is a better description.
Yes, sir.
But like, well, realistic too, because like if you guys, now there's 7 of these guys, And then you guys have a pack mule too, right? Which they call Donkey, which is pretty funny.
Yes.
His name is Donkey, but he's actually a mule. I mean, but that's pretty plausible. If you're in a cavern, unless it's like a really huge cavern, most caverns, they're not going to be like really huge passageways, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be kind of cramped. So, but you guys had a pretty good variety of areas. And we had 3 main areas. The starting area, which was Winterville, the village. And then you guys went to an open area where you fought polar bears with armor, no less, which was a little suspicious, right?
Yes.
That was a little suspicious. You guys started kind of figuring things out then, right? Like,
Yes, sir.
okay, there's something going on here. These are not just regular polar bears. But anyway, we had an open area for that fight, right?
Yes.
For that combat. And then in the third area, we had a cavern, so and that was closed. So what I was trying to do was to give you guys a variety of areas to explore. So in one area, we had a lot of positive space where Athena, your archers, could enjoy a lot more and participate a lot more in combat, and you guys could have more of a sense of adventure and exploration, I think, on the whole. But then, of course, we had the caverns, which was very closed, right?
Yes, sir.
So, that's going to work out pretty good for the melee guys, but then they're not going to have a whole lot of support, right?
Yes.
So then your strategies have to change a little bit. I mean, if you want to try to fight through stuff, like, well, you kind of had to, right? There was some ice elemental kind of ghostly kind of ice guys that you guys had to fight, which was kind of strange, right? That was kind of weird.
Yes.
They didn't give you much of a choice, did they? Well, they did. They did tell you to leave or die.
And we destroyed them.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it was obvious they were not going to talk to you, right? You weren't going to be able to talk your way through this one. But it's kind of cool when you can talk your way through stuff, right? We haven't done a whole lot of that. But y'all have done a little bit. I mean, if you can skirt the violence and figure out a way around it, and if you do get involved in combat, if you can figure out different strategies together, you guys have gotten a lot better about that. And Michael and Corey and the other players have been pretty good at working with you guys and figuring out strategies. But you two, these two guys, they're my sons, so you guys are always at the table, right? No matter who we have coming in as players, these two guys are always there playing the game. So you guys are getting a little bit better at strategizing, right?
Yes,
Figuring
sir.
out different strategies and so forth. So anyway, it's interesting seeing you guys start to develop a little more complicated strategies and so forth. I know one time you were talking about trying to shoot, which was a good idea, by the way, but I think you guys kind of forgot about it. Once you got to the main boss room, you guys were kind of cramped in that one area. You're like, because you're trying to figure out some way that the archers could help, right? And they were all jammed up.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a bottleneck there. And then here's these ice elemental guys, and then right behind them, you kind of got the idea, this is a big room, this is probably the boss coming up. And you're like, can we use arrows and shoot the icicles hanging down and make those fall on top of their heads? And that was kind of cool. I was like, you can't right here, because it was, you were trying to get to the next room with there. I was like, it can't quite get past the opening, but then I was like, when they get out to the opening in the big cavern, the big main boss room in the cavern, maybe they'll remember. But you guys got so involved in just trying to survive, I think, that kind of forgot about it. But plus, the boss was so large, you didn't really have to do that.
Yes.
But just FYI, I was going to give you extra damage if you were successful. Of course, the chances of making that happen, the attack would have been modified in a negative fashion, right? So.
Yes.
But then if you would have pulled it off, it would have been kind of spectacular. It would have been really cool. But again, you guys found other ways to make it happen. And so about the boss fight, then, did you guys kind of enjoy that?
Yes, sir.
Was that pretty interesting? This dude here from Skylanders, when they were little, I say little, you aren't little anymore. They're about as tall as I am now. Actually, he might be taller than I am now. This guy's from Skylanders, and what's his name? You guys remember?
Slam Bam.
Slam Bam. I would have called him Polar Express or something. Or I don't know. Looks like he's about to wreck you like a train. Huh? This guy's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but he's pretty cool. And he is a formidable figure. I mean, look at the size. That's obviously a giant, right?
Yes.
It looks like a giant to me. And he did some damage. I mean, he did wreck you guys pretty well like a train, didn't he? Kind of ran you over like a train there for a little bit.
He's got 4 arms.
Yeah, and each arm does quite a bit of damage. Plus,
To do up to 6 damage.
yeah, 1d6 damage each, which in our game is a lot of damage. And he also has another attack. You guys remember that attack?
He has a freeze spit.
Well, basically a breath attack, a cold breath attack. Kind of like, I think it's a white dragon that has the cold breath attack. Kind of the same thing. And you guys kind of had some trouble with that, didn't you? A little bit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Three of the guys, 3 of the 7 were frozen. Aramon here, who has the fire damage swords. Now, it was really cool. Aramon had a special potion, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that one of the mentors, he basically won a contest that we had, helping one of the NPCs out with
Mystery Mansion game that we
the
played.
Mystery Mansion game, and that's how Ian was able to pick one of his NPCs or one of his PCs, sorry, to be the recipient of a special prize, which was the immune to freeze potion. Didn't know what it was. I just said you'll know when you should use it, because that's what the NPC told you that gave you the potion. She said you'll know when to use it. So it worked out that you didn't really need it, but it was still kind of a cool concept, right? You got to roll the blue dice that looked like ice and stuff, and but he was immune to any kind of freeze effect during that time.
Yes, sir.
Plus he had fire damage on his swords, which did extra damage to the balls. So he was kind of the key, and he did a lot of damage before he finally went unconscious. Remember, he got kind of off by himself, but
It was worth the heroic
it kind
achievement.
of worked out though that he did get behind the boss, because
He wouldn't have been able to freeze all of us.
well, it made him turn around, and it gave you guys attack of opportunities. Everybody,
Multiple times.
yeah, it was a couple times you guys got attack of opportunities, because it's almost like he got confused for a second, right?
Yes, sir.
And Aramon got knocked unconscious, so that was kind of like, whoa, this is getting a little serious, right? And then
Yes, sir.
three of the guys got frozen, so then that's 4 out. So then you guys only had 3 characters that were still in and able to do anything, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys at any point during the fight feel a little bit like this is kind of getting away from us, or did you guys feel confident, or?
I felt pretty confident.
I felt pretty confident the whole time.
Okay.
Because our main damage dealer, Kendall, right here, Kendall Faya, he does 4 damage a hit, and he was still at full health.
Ian has the damage dealers. Both
Yes,
of his characters do the most damage. Rachel is pretty. She's like
The spellcaster.
the spellcaster. She's like a druid. Corbin,
He's the tank.
he's the tank. So I mean, the thing that worried me a little bit, to be honest with you, is Corbin was out of commission. I'm like, this guy does a lot of damage, and
Yes.
your tank is out of the mix. And I'm like, okay, if they don't put him down quickly, he's gonna kill. It's gonna be a TPK.
Yes, sir.
And Mike was like, well, what happened? I don't think you guys realize it, but you were only about 3 turns away from a total party kill. I'll just let y'all know, right? You don't want that to happen, okay?
Yes.
That's bad. So
Yes, sir.
to hear you, and I could tell by the way you guys were playing that you felt pretty confident, and I'm okay with you guys feeling confident, but at the same time, I'm like, I wonder if they really realize if they all go down, they're all down, and that's it.
Yes, sir.
There's no way out of that.
Well, and our healer got frozen too.
Right.
That was bad.
You lost your healer, you lost your tank, you lost one of your huge damage. Probably he gets 6 attacks per round in using one of his special skills, and then you lost one of your archers too. So, and losing the healer and the tank and one of your big damage dealers, that can be a big problem.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't think they realize, how this could go. So anyway, just want you guys to kind of think about that in the future when you're having these fights and everything. Don't just feel so confident that no matter what you do, it's going to be okay. Anyway, just want you guys to keep that in mind. So that's why strategy is so important. And that's why if you think it's going to be a really, and this was a boss battle, so obviously, you're probably going to have to take him on somehow. But you guys had another boss battle that was kind of similar. It was another Skylander that I used. And you guys used a lot of strategy to trick him into stepping into a portal.
Yes,
Remember
sir.
that? And that worked out pretty cool because you didn't actually have to fight him. And I was trying to let you guys know.
Well, we couldn't injure him either.
Right, well, y'all did try to fight him a little bit, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at first you did try to fight him, and then you realized you couldn't really do anything. And anyway, this was in a previous chapter. I think this was chapter 2. But anyway, just keep that in mind. Sometimes you have to kind of adapt and overcome. Sometimes you have to change your strategy on the fly. But if you always go in with at least a you know, maybe a plan B or whatever, you can make a quick adjustment if you need to.
I kind of like the again, the art of it.
The art, okay.
So,
the crafting.
yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment because I did put in a lot of time for these,
Like
especially
the lighting for the cavern and different things like that.
Yeah, the blue lighting was kind of cool, wasn't it?
Sir.
Yeah. So.
I like the ability of like having choices. Once we got to the cavern, we could either go to the right or to the left.
Oh yeah.
Because then we had to decide which way we needed to go.
And I made the cavern real simple too, and I'll show you guys in more detail maybe in a later video. But basically, you could go right or left at this one part, and I made it like that for a reason. Because if you guys would go right, you guys would maybe get a little bit more information about what was going on, and then you could go to the left and finish it up. But you guys chose left, and that was to the main boss room, and I was like, well, then it's going to go differently now. So it's just like rolling dice to see, you know, I kind of like that. You know, I don't want to railroad you guys into, you have to go to this room first, and then you have to find, you know, I want you guys to, I want Chance to be part of this as well, but I also want you guys to feel like, you know what, we're calling the shots here. We're going to go this way, and this way it's going to be. So anyway, yeah, that was interesting because you guys had to go back and find the crystal, right?
Yes.
So you kind of had to backtrack a little bit, and then you found footprints that went to, like, basically it looked like the people vanished, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was interesting. So now you know somebody got away, right?
Yes, sir.
So now you got to wonder who got away and if you're going to be able to find them in the future or whatever, right? Or you know how they were. And the pixie that Mom did the voice for, she kind of explained some stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Officer Coy, all the guys in I forget which Trash and Treasure video it is, but the one with the main prison with the multiple NPCs frozen in the prison.
Yes, sir.
That's what that scene was. So he was responsible for all those guys being frozen. All those NPCs being frozen, and of course after you guys killed him, they were unfrozen, and then Officer Coy was one of them, and he kind of explained some of the stuff, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And that was kind of neat. They were using the pixie dust as basically a spell
Ingredient.
Yeah, a spell ingredient. Thank you. There's another word. I forget the word, but basically a spell ingredient for mind control. If you guys could change one thing about that chapter, what would you change? It's probably a tough question. I know it. There's no such thing as a perfect adventure.
As far as what we did, or like what you did?
Anything. As far as you thought some crafting stuff was ugly, or you wish the lighting would have been better, or you felt like maybe you could have done something differently, or maybe you got a bad roll, or just anything. Something that happened because of maybe he did something that you didn't like, or whatever, just anything.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like the immune to freeze potion was kind of wasted.
Yeah.
Because
it was. Well, and see that was in the name of the mentor is Annie, brother. That was Annie's plan B for you guys.
yes,
That was her insurance for Aramont. For whoever were, you know, to come back victorious in the little competition you had. She wanted you guys to have immunity because she had reason to believe that would come in handy in that. So, you know, it's like one of those things. It's kind of like, you know, you drink a healing potion and then you get, you know, one hit killed. You know, I mean, it happens, you know. So, and sometimes you'll have unique items and they'll get, you know, stolen or destroyed or what. So it's just part of the game. So basically, you just lament over the potion's loss, right? You feel like the potion was wasted.
like we could have saved it for something way more useful than that.
Well, that was its purpose.
Yes, sir.
So that, you know, the only other way I see that
Maybe sell it for like a bunch of gold or something.
you probably could have got some gold out of it. But the thing was, you used it the way that the mentor told you to use it. So it's kind of like in life. Even if you feel like something you did is not good or whatever, if you know you did what you were supposed to do, you did the right thing,
Yes, sir.
then you're good. That, you know, it's kind of a lesson you learn in life. It doesn't matter if you feel like it was wasted. What matters is you did what you were supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
That's the way I look
Like
at it.
insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Ian, what was your thing that you didn't like so much, or you would change if you had the opportunity?
Michael came over, our friend, and I don't think he really got to play much because of the cavern. They're just like a little bit too small. And if he got up in the front, he couldn't really do much damage or take much damage. So it wouldn't have been a good strategy anyway. So he just had to kind of hang back and kind of watch us.
Well, he did help you guys with the boss fight, though.
Yeah, he did, but
it was kind of cool. The one thing that he came up with the arrow and he hit the boss in the throat with the arrow. That was kind of huge.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, Gabe and I think we talked about. I think next time we're going to let him do some other stuff. That's going to have him be a little more involved. Okay. What was your favorite? You know how Elf says smiling's my favorite. These are tough questions, evidently.
These are tough questions.
probably the art,
The art was your
the
favorite.
display.
Okay. So the crafting was the favorite thing, your favorite thing of the whole chapter. Okay.
I'm gonna have to say the strategy that had to be involved, because we had to come at him from multiple ways, so he wouldn't be able to take out all of us at once and freeze all of us at once.
Yeah, you guys did come up with some pretty decent strategies at the end. Okay, well that's about it. Any closing comments? Anything you'd like to say about the adventures thus far, or not really?
Excited for the next chapter.
Excited for the next chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you guys feel like, kind of like, yeah, we did it a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, and Kendall, the other big damage dealer, the paladin of the group, he's basically the paladin, Holy Knight. He was the one who got the deadly blow, I guess, or the death blow on the boss.
Do you know how close we are to leveling?
I don't, but I'll be able to see after. I haven't done the calculations yet. Remember,
Yes,
we had to stop real quick. Michael, I think, had to leave. You're pretty close to 5th. You might be 5th level now. You might be.
Can we find out tonight so we can level up?
We're going to look as soon as we can, okay?
Yes.
I know, so that's what they're excited about, leveling up. But as far as do you guys feel like you succeed? I know, Kendall, you got to do how you want to do this, right?
Yes, sir.
That was pretty fun, right? They know when I say, how do you want to do this? Everything, they're like, oh, wow, there it is. And then you got to fill in the blank, right? How Kendall took care of business. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
There's like an epic hero. There's a certain thing that we do in our game where you have to be kind of creative and you come up with this super cool strategy. And if you roll a critical success on it, you're considered the epic hero, right? So you get to wear a mask now and wear a medallion. Okay. Good job, guys. High fives. Okay. High fists.
Okay.
High. We're gonna be.
Turkey.
We're going out.
Thanksgiving.
We're going out like true geeks here.
Wow.
Thanks a lot, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give us a like, and as always, guys, thanks for watching.
Thank you for saving me. The villagers appreciate it too. But to get us out of here, you'll have to find the crystal of darkest blue.